Money laundering. It sounds like something you do with a stack of 50s you found buried in the garden. In reality, it's far more sinister. Simply put, money laundering is the process of disguising the origins of illegally obtained money, making it appear legitimate. Think of it like this. Criminals earn dirty money through illegal activities. They can't just spend it freely without raising eyebrows. So they wash their dirty cash, making it look clean and legal. This process is crucial for all sorts of criminal enterprises from drug trafficking to terrorism. Why? Because it allows criminals to enjoy their ill-gotten gains without attracting unwanted attention from the authorities. Money laundering provides a veneer of legitimacy, allowing them to invest in businesses, purchase luxury goods, and further their criminal activities. The scale of money laundering is staggering. The United Nations estimates that trillions of dollars are laundered globally each year. This dirty money fuels corruption, undermines legitimate businesses, and threatens the stability of the global financial system. It's a serious problem, and understanding how it works is the first step towards combating it. Imagine a mountain of cash, earned through illegal activities. The first challenge for criminals is getting that money into the legitimate financial system. This initial step is called placement. It involves physically depositing the illicit funds into banks or other financial institutions. Criminals employ various methods to achieve this. One common tactic is smurfing, where they divide large sums of cash into smaller amounts and deposit them into multiple accounts. They might use fake identities or recruit unsuspecting individuals to make these deposits. Another method is using businesses that handle large amounts of cash, such as casinos, restaurants, or nightclubs. Criminals might overstate their legitimate income from these businesses, blending their dirty money with the clean. The key to placement is to avoid raising red flags. Banks and financial institutions are required to report suspicious transactions, so criminals go to great lengths to make their deposits appear legitimate. Once the dirty money is in the financial system, the next step is to make it even harder to trace. This is where layering comes in. This stage involves creating complex layers of financial transactions to obscure the money trail. One common layering technique is transferring money through multiple accounts in different countries. These accounts might be held under shell companies, which are businesses with no real operations, existing solely to hide the true ownership of assets. Another method is investing in assets that are difficult to trace, such as real estate, art, or luxury goods. Criminals might purchase these assets through shell companies or use nominees to further disguise their involvement. The more complex the layering, the harder it becomes to follow the money trail. By the end of this stage, the original source of the funds is effectively buried under a mountain of transactions. The final stage of money laundering is integration. This is where the clean money is reintroduced into the legitimate economy, allowing criminals to enjoy their ill-gotten gains. With the money now seemingly legitimate, criminals can invest in businesses, purchase luxury goods, or simply withdraw cash for personal use. They might purchase properties, cars, or other assets, enjoying a lavish lifestyle funded by their criminal activities. Integration allows criminals to reap the rewards of their crimes without raising suspicion. They can live comfortably, invest in their future, and even use their wealth to gain influence and power. It's the ultimate goal of money laundering, turning dirty money into a seemingly legitimate source of wealth. Section 5. The real-world cost of dirty money. You know, money laundering might seem like a victimless crime, but its impact is far-reaching and devastating. When criminals launder money, they undermine the integrity of the global financial system, fuel corruption, and hinder economic development. The sheer volume of money laundered each year represents a massive loss of tax revenue for governments worldwide. This loss of revenue translates into fewer resources for essential public services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Moreover, money laundering provides a lifeline for organized crime and terrorism. It allows these groups to finance their operations, expand their reach, and threaten global security. From funding drug trafficking networks to supporting terrorist cells, money laundering fuels some of the most pressing challenges facing the world today. Section 6. High-profile cases, when the laundry gets exposed. Money laundering often operates in the shadows, but occasionally, High-profile cases make headlines, exposing the vast sums of money involved and the sophisticated methods employed. These cases serve as stark reminders of the pervasiveness of money laundering and its devastating consequences. One such case involved the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar. During the height of his power, Escobar's Medellin cartel was generating billions of dollars annually from cocaine trafficking. To launder these vast sums, the cartel employed a complex network of shell companies, front businesses, and corrupt officials. Another infamous case involved the Bank of Credit and Commerce International, or BCCI. This international bank was implicated in widespread money laundering, facilitating the flow of funds for drug traffickers, arms dealers, and even terrorist organizations. The BCCI scandal sent shockwaves through the global financial system, highlighting the vulnerabilities of international banking to criminal exploitation. Section 7. Fighting back. The global effort against money laundering. Combating money laundering requires a multifaceted approach involving governments, financial institutions, and international organizations. Recognizing the severity of the threat, countries around the world have implemented stringent regulations and established specialized agencies to detect and prevent money laundering activities. The Financial Action Task Force on Money Laundering, or FATF, is an intergovernmental organization that sets global standards and promotes effective implementation of legal, regulatory, and operational measures to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. The FATF's recommendations have become the international standard for combating money laundering and terrorist financing. In addition to international cooperation, financial institutions play a crucial role in preventing money laundering. Banks and other financial institutions are required to implement Know Your Customer or KYC procedures, which involve verifying the identities of their customers and monitoring transactions for suspicious activity. They must report any suspicious transactions to the relevant authorities. Section 8. The role we all play reporting suspicious activity. While governments and financial institutions are at the forefront of the fight against money laundering, we all have a role to play in safeguarding the financial system. By being vigilant and reporting suspicious activity, we can help authorities track down criminals and disrupt their operations. If you work in a profession that handles cash or financial transactions, be aware of the red flags of money laundering. Be wary of customers who make large cash deposits, attempt to structure transactions to avoid reporting requirements, provide vague or inconsistent information about their business activities, or show a sudden and unexplained increase in wealth. If you encounter any suspicious activity, report it to your supervisor or compliance officer. You can also report suspicious activity directly to the relevant authorities in your country. By reporting suspicious activity, you are contributing to the global effort to combat money laundering and make the world a safer place. Section 9. Conclusion. Keeping our financial system clean. Money laundering is a complex and pervasive problem that poses a significant threat to the global financial system. It fuels corruption, undermines legitimate businesses, and finances criminal activities that threaten our safety and security. Combating money laundering requires a collective effort. Governments, financial institutions, and individuals must work together to detect, prevent, and punish those who engage in this illicit activity. By implementing robust regulations, strengthening international cooperation, and promoting a culture of compliance, we can make it more difficult for criminals to launder their ill-gotten gains. Remember, money laundering thrives in the shadows. By shedding light on this illicit activity, understanding its mechanics, and reporting suspicious behavior, we can all contribute to keeping our financial system clean and ensuring a safer and more secure world.